Xander.
Xander. Xander. Xander. Xander. Hey, Xander. Number 3. 3. There you go. Yeah. There we go. Good morning, everybody. We have a lot of energy this day, and I know why. It's because the Astros won the World Series. I know. I just know that's the reason. Welcome to Unity Spiritual Center, Georgetown. We are very glad that you have come to join us this morning as we come together and create a loving, sacred space amongst our wonderful spiritual community. We spend our time together in prayer and affirmation, singing, laughing, learning, and just basically being in that vibration of love and harmony for the next 45 or whatever it is minutes. And so Unity is a positive path for spiritual living. We are heart-centered. We are love-based, all-inclusive. We offer spiritual teachings that provide practical tools for meaningful and abundant living. We draw from and honor all paths, from all paths to spirit, and today in the lesson, we will be drawing from one particular path because, it just all comes down to, it's all the same thing. There's only one. There's only one, and there's only one. This is the descriptions that vary. We envision a spiritually transformed world. That is the greater vision that we have. And we have no dogma or creed, but we do have 5 principles that guide our philosophy. Our fundamental belief is in oneness, and our foundational practice is being in the present moment. Once again, welcome to Unity Spiritual Center, Georgetown, a spiritual breath of fresh air. So I'd like to offer a couple of announcements for you today, if I can find them. First, the Wednesday morning class. We have a class that we call Let's Get Metaphysical. Physical, man, metaphysical, metaphysical, yeah, something like that. And we meet at 9:30 in the morning in the park across the street here, Legacy Hills. And if you'd like to be part of that, we watch videos, TED Talks or other videos, usually 2, sometimes 3, on very varied subjects that are pretty out there, reaching the edge of our consciousness on the planet. And we have wonderful discussions. And we've been having 16, 17, 18 people. So it makes for a very wonderful morning. We're there for about an hour and a half or so. Also, the other book club, Alice's Cooper. Oh, I want to send out first of all, say hi to the people online, and send out a blessing and our prayers to Donna Sue, who has been going through some challenges, and also to our other prayer chaplain, Elizabeth. But I went and saw her Thursday. She's looking better, and so I'm hopeful that she'll be here soon to join us again. Anyway, I wanted to say that. So Alice's book club, we've been looking at Richard Rohr's The Universal Christ. And we meet at Lark and Owl downtown behind the Monument Cafe. And things have been getting postponed because of Elizabeth's health, and Alice is obviously her daughter, and she's been with her. So we're going to stay with the book for next time. So let me know if you're interested in that, and you'll see it on the announcements up here as well. Now, Liz wanted me to say something about what blackout dates for the volunteers or something, Liz, or what? Okay.
I'm sorry.
We're having just a little bit of technical difficulty this morning, but we'll get there. Yes, if you are on the volunteer rotation schedule, and if you know that you're not going to be available for certain dates in December or January, if you would please fill out a blackout form so that we know and we don't schedule you, because Maria is going to be making up the schedule here pretty shortly. Also, we do need readers. We'll have the readers already picked for the Advent Sundays and the candle lighting and the special things we're going to do around that. But we also need additional readers. We need up to 6 readers for our Christmas Eve service. Our Christmas Eve service is going to be on Saturday, the 24th. We will not have a Sunday service on Christmas Day. But we'll have our Christmas Eve service at the regular time at 10:30, right here on Saturday morning. But as I was saying, we will need about 6 additional readers for some special parts for the story that Tommy's going to tell. So if you'd like to volunteer for that, there are forms out, small little volunteer forms. On the welcome table, you can just put Christmas Eve reader, but that's also a reason why we need to know if you're going to be out for Christmas so that we don't schedule you for any of those special things, okay? So thank you very much.
Also, you probably smell food, so we're going to have potluck today afterwards, and Dan is going to do a concert for us for about, 45 minutes maybe, half an hour, 45 minutes, whatever it is.
I do 3-hour concerts.
Oh, do you? Okay. All right. Well, I'm glad we have food. Anyway, I'd like to start this morning, as I always do, with some laughter. Just kind of release all that energy and get us into a special kind of a mood. So this one's called the silent treatment. And a man and a wife were having a problem at home, and they were giving each other the silent treatment. Suddenly, the man realized, oh, I got an early flight in the morning. I need to have my wife wake me up as she always does. But he didn't want to break his silence. He didn't want to lose. So he didn't want to, he said, what can I do? So he came up with the idea of writing her a note and putting it on her nightstand so that she could see it. So he did that, thinking he was very clever. Of course, man, we're clever. And he puts, wake me up at 5 a.m. So he left it there. The next morning, he wakes up. It's 9 o'clock in the morning. He's missed his flight, and he's furious and about to go ask his wife why she had not wakened him when he noticed another piece of paper on the nightstand right next to his, and it said, wake up, it's 5 a.m. Men are just not equipped for these kind of contests. Let's rise in opening song. You kind of know this, right?
Wait for the words. I do, but I don't want to sing alone. Open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see you. I want to see you. Open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see you. I want to see you. To see you high and lifted up, shining on the light of your glory. Pour out your power and love as we sing, holy, holy, holy. Open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see you. I want to see you. Open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see you. I want to see you. See you high and lifted up. As we sing, shining the light of your glory. Pour out your power and love as we sing, holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy, holy. I want to see you. Holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy, holy. I want to see you.
Good morning. We're going to light the divine order candles represented by the ideas of mind, idea, and expression. Divine mind is the true self, which is the source and the creator of all. Divine idea, that we are spiritual beings, ideas in the mind of the Creator in its image and likeness. Divine expression, that each one of us is a unique and perfect expression of the Creator.
I feel the Spirit moving in me. 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 I feel the love 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 moving in me. I feel it moving in me. I feel the joy moving in me. I feel the joy moving in me. I feel the joy moving in me. I feel the Spirit 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 moving in me.
Sure we've got this, if you need to repeat or say, okay, all right, good, I was just checking. So let's join together for our prayer of intention. Living Spirit opens our minds, opens our hearts, touches us all deeply with love, and sends us out as agents, agents of love, agents of peace, agents of justice. Amen. And so we will now send our children out as agents of love with our Sunday school teachers, and we'll see you back here in a little while. Let's now say together our statement of being. Excuse me. There is only one presence and one power active in the universe and in my life, God the good, omnipotent. And now our vision and mission statements. Centered in God, we co-create a world of love, peace, and abundance. We are a thriving spiritual community, inspiring and empowering individual and global transformation as exemplified by the life and teachings of Jesus.
Good morning. The daily word for today is balance. Sometimes trying to balance my schedule, meet my obligations, and even find time for the things I enjoy can leave me scrambling to figure out how to fit it all in. Today, I take my cue from nature, and I notice the rhythm of the seasons and the tides, the cycles of growth, and the order that underlies all things. I appreciate how seamlessly the natural world balances itself and restores itself to harmony. This gift of harmony and balance lives in me. I honor myself when I flow with it instead of forcing my will upon it. I listen to my body's many signals. I rest when I'm tired. I eat when I'm hungry. And I socialize and seek solitude as I need to. As I care for myself, I find balance. For there is nothing better for people under the sun than to eat and drink and enjoy themselves. Ecclesiastes 8:15. Today's affirmation is, I honor life's shifting rhythms. Ooh, it's there. Please repeat with me twice. I honor life's shifting rhythms. I honor life's shifting rhythms.
Peace in my life is growing because I choose love. Love's always present, it's what I'm made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one tie that binds us can be undone. I choose love. Peace in my family is growing because I choose love. Let love be present, it's what I'm made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one love and family, sharing one son. I choose love. Peace in our planet is growing because I choose love. Let love be present, it's what I'm made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one. One choice unites us. Let us be one. I choose love.
Thank you, Dan. That is the perfect introduction to prayer. It certainly is. So it is now time for our community prayer, and I invite you to become comfortable in your chairs here in our gathering here, or when you're at home, or if you're watching this at another time. But I just invite you to sit and feel supported by the chair and by the ambience of this room, the love that is in this room. Close your eyes if you're comfortable. Take a deep breath. Feel the stillness that is within us, the love that has created us, and the love that we are in this world. As we come together in prayer, we affirm the highest and the best outcome for each being, each place, each situation in our hearts, affirming that each one of us is unshakably anchored in God's healing love. Today we rest in the beauty of the world around us, grateful for the change in seasons, the cooler temperatures, the rain that we received this week. We bring to mind the people in our lives, our family, friends, colleagues at work, our animal companions, and we see them as whole and perfect beings, expressions of love in our lives. We're grateful for each one and recognize the fullness of God's creation surrounding us. We bring to mind right now people known and unknown to us who are experiencing challenges and hardships. People across this country, specifically in Florida, Alaska, Illinois, Missouri, Kentucky, and Puerto Rico, are still recovering from storms, flooding, and other weather damage. The western United States is again experiencing wildfires. We affirm that each one is surrounded in love and strengthened by the power of prayer. We hold the people in our own community who are struggling with their own situations or concerns for their loved ones, whether illness, loss, loneliness, financial challenges. We affirm and surround God's healing in each situation. We focus our hearts on our own country and our world, affirming clarity, peace, and resolution to the many conflicts that exist. We continue to hold the people of the Ukraine and of Russia in our prayers, affirming peace and clarity. In this country, we carry the vision of peaceful dialogue during the upcoming election and beyond. We remember that the affirmation of peace and calm has true power. With hearts filled with love, I invite you now to bring to mind and heart all those beings, situations, and places to receive your own prayer, as well as the power of the prayer of community, as you speak these quietly out loud or hold silently for just a moment of prayer. And now let's close our time of prayer today by singing an ancient prayer, a prayer handed down through the ages that affirms God's realm manifest in earth as it is in heaven, our Lord's Prayer.
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors, and leave us not in temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever.
I just have to say, whoops, as I sat in this chair and looked out, the color of these flowers on the table and the painting in the back, and it's a beautiful table again. Thank you. It's just lovely. So the spiritual practice that I wanted to share with you today is the practice of grace. Grace enhances our receptivity to the gifts that surround us, and it it also addresses our ability to surrender. It balances and counters our feelings of shame and the need for control. And grace can lift us to new heights of our divine nature. I think the thing about grace that I had not really thought about until I was really thinking about this practice today, but it really is that part about release and control, which is kind of a thing for me, I think, and maybe for others. I won't say for sure, but I think that is something that many of us struggle with. And I liked that idea that grace, which is something I think about and try to embrace, but I liked that idea that it really does help me to release some of the things that don't really serve me. And so control is one of them. But you might, if I ask you what is grace, St. Augustine said, "I know until you ask me. When you ask me, I do not know." And if I went around this room and asked each of you what is grace, we would have, I don't know how many of us are here, but we'd probably have that many definitions. And we would probably also have some who would say, "I don't know. I don't know what it is, or I don't know how to describe it, but I know what it is until you ask me, and then I don't know." So I think that's true. In the book, The Quest, the authors Richard and Mary Alice Jafala state that the gift of grace is yours from God simply because you are God's child. You didn't have to earn it, and you don't have to prove you deserve it. It is yours unconditionally. It comes with being part of creation. Many of us know that, have read that, can say that, but being able to really take that in and hold it may be a different thing. Monk and mystic Thomas Merton wrote, "Grace is not a strange magic substance which is subtly filtered into our souls to act as a kind of spiritual penicillin. Grace is unity, oneness within ourselves, and oneness with God." The gift of grace comes to us as God's initiative. Receiving grace goes against some of our very human tendencies. One of these is the belief that we are in control, and grace requires us to release shame and feelings of being unworthy, undeserving, feelings that we're not as good as people assume, that we've messed up, and that our whole life is a mistake. Grace doesn't listen to that reasoning. It isn't based on a scorecard. Instead, grace teaches us to let go and to receive. Not only are we not in charge, we can't be, and we don't have to be. We just need to stay open to receiving the sacred. Grace, that unconditional gift of unconditional love, simply happens. It may still be hard to know how to receive grace, and I found this little quote and I loved it. So Swami Vivekananda, a Hindu monk living in the 19th century, said, "God's grace is always blowing, but you must raise your sail." So, as we prepare to go into a couple of minutes of silence, I'm going to read you a prayer first. It's a prayer of grace written by Stephanie Dowrick, and I just want to let this prayer surround you in our time of silence. Let it help you to raise your sail to receive the grace that is always blowing around us. And at the end of our time of meditation, Dan will bring us back into this space. May I open to the ease and the comfort of God's grace. May I remember the quiet times when something shifted within me and I grew in grace. May I remember the moments of kindness when my heart opened and I grew in grace. May I remember when I reached beyond my own worries to help another, and I grew in grace. May I remember the times of darkness when inspiration arose, and I grew in grace. May our world be filled with moments of grace. May we bring grace to life through our daily actions. May everyone live in grace, happiness, and peace. May I live in grace, happiness, and peace. May I embody grace.
We can be kind. We can take care of each other. We can remember that deep down inside, we all need the same thing. Maybe we'll find, if we are there for each other, that together we'll weather whatever tomorrow may bring.
Before I start my lesson, I forgot, once again, Sally's already reminding me. Are there anybody, is there anybody new here today that would we want to give you a welcome packet. If you don't want to stand up and introduce yourself, that's perfectly fine. If you do, we would welcome that as well. And just tell us where you came from or your name. But we would like to get you a welcome packet. Anyone here today for the first time? Okay, great. Welcome packet it is. Well, thank you. We are very glad that you're here with us today. How many of you familiar with the book, The Four Agreements? Yeah, I kind of thought so. If you've been in unity for any length of time, then you've probably come across the book at some point or another. Not because it's part of unity, but because there's enough similarity with unity that many unity speakers present or explore the ideas presented in it. Which goes back to what I said at the intro. My central message is that we are all talking about the same thing. Yet, sorry. See, I have to make this adjustment. Then I have to forget to turn it back on. There I am. So we're all talking about the same thing. Yet, at the same time, we have a very unique experience of that one same thing. For example, all the creation stories that we've heard, the flood stories, the virgin births, the idea that this world is some sort of an illusion. Even Plato talked about the parable of the cave. And all these stories are found throughout history. And the differences is in the language, which is reflective of our consciousness that we use to describe the experience of this one thing. A perfect current example that we're talking about at the Let's Get Metaphysical class is the recurring idea that this world is an illusion or a dream of some sort. That's everywhere. And the new idea that's being explored is that not that it's so much a dream, but that we're living in a virtual reality. That's a different description, same idea, which is that there is a greater, more foundational reality than this world. In any case, I think we have a large enough overall view of the scheme that we can appreciate and use the various ways of expressing these apparent differences. Having said that, let's take a look at these four agreements. We begin by stating what they are. The first one is, be impeccable with your word. Second one is, don't take anything personally. Third one is, don't make assumptions. Now, I don't even know why they put 2 and 3 in here, because I know nobody who has ever taken anything personally or makes assumptions. But, we'll just go over them anyway. Suppose we did. Agreement number 4 is always do your best. These 4 agreements are the work of Don Miguel Ruiz. And just for clarity, let me clarify that it's Don, it's not Don. His name is not Don any more than Christ is Jesus' last name. Well, Don is not his first name. Don is a reference, like a sir, a mister. So it's called Don Miguel Ruiz. And of the agreements, he writes, if you adopt these agreements, you will then create enough personal power to change the entire system of the old agreements. It will take a very strong will to do this, he says, but the change in your life will be transformative. The drama and the hell in your life will disappear, and you will be able to create your own heaven on earth. These 4 agreements reveal the source of self-limiting beliefs that rob us of joy and create needless suffering. Wow, that is a proposed big change in how we see things with these simple 4 little adjustments. And today I want to cover 2 of them, the intro and 2 of them, and next week I'll cover the last 2 and the summary going out. So the 4 Agreements is said to be a Toltec Wisdom book. It says right in the front. And anthropologists have spoken of the Toltec as a nation or a race. But in fact, the book says the Toltec were scientists and artists who formed a society in order to explore and conserve the spiritual knowledge and practices of the ancient ones. The book begins with an introduction called The Smoky Mirror. It tells of a man who was studying to become a medicine man, but didn't agree with a lot of the stuff he was learning. That sounds like me. One night, as he slept, he dreamed that he saw his own body sleeping. He awoke in the middle of the night and stepped outside of his cave. He stared at the millions of stars in the sky, and at that moment, he had a realization that transformed him. He came to the awareness that he, like the stars and everyone else, was made of light. He saw everything as God. He realized that the real us is pure love and pure light. He saw himself in everything, and that everything was built but an infinite manifestation of this one being. In those few moments, he comprehended everything. He wanted to tell everyone, but nobody understood him. He felt like he had no judgment anymore towards anything. He realized that he and everyone and everything was God. That was his revelation. The chapter 1 is called Domestication and the Dream of the Planet. The proposition is that everything we are seeing and hearing right now is nothing but a dream. The illusion reference again. The chapter says, in effect, he doesn't use the word race consciousness, but the same idea is present in it, that somehow we have all accepted agreements in this life in order to coexist. He refers to this as the domestication of the planet. Every letter, he says, every word in our language is an agreement. We accept what we've been taught, told, handed down without choice. We accept it blindly. According to Don Miguel, we never had the opportunity to choose what to believe or what not to believe. Now, earlier I said that there's some similarities with unity. That would not be one of them, because we totally believe in choice all the time. However, it is consistent with the idea that most people do not take the time to consider with any degree of profundity what it is that we've been told. Look at it this way. How many of you read the terms of agreements every time you download an app? Do you agree with the terms? Yeah. Did you read them? No, what for? So, from that angle, I do agree with him. Socrates said the unexamined life is not worth living. Now, it is important to note that by necessity, we do need agreements in order to coexist. One of them is our language, of course. The other one would be, at a very practical level, streetlights. What would we do without streetlights? Oh, my goodness. You go first. No, you go first. Now, you wouldn't even ask. It's like, I'm going later, you know. But his reference is about something much more profound than streetlights, but even though they're very practical. He says we have thousands of agreements, but the worst one is the one that we make with ourselves. He says that if you want to live a life of joy and fulfillment, we have to have the courage to break those old agreements that were handed down to us. In unity speak, that would be the reference to letting go of all old limiting beliefs. Just let them go so that you can move forward. Think of it this way. Suppose it's 1976. Come on in. Suppose it's 1976 and I walk in here Sunday morning with a lime green leisure suit. You know, with a big lapel, the the collars and they hang over like that. You can see it, right? And what would you say? You probably said something like, bro, you are looking all kinds of cool in that suit. Because I was 24 years old then. But what would you say if I walked in here now in that same suit? You can picture it, right? It ain't pretty. It is not pretty. You would say, brother, you need to release that suit. You need to let it go. Same thing holds true with our old beliefs. We outgrow them. They may have worked at one point. They don't work anymore. So that being said, that is a very unity idea. So let's move on to the first agreement. It says, be impeccable with your word. We're very familiar with this in unity. We talk about the power of words and the power of the word all the time. And why? Because the words and the power of the word is how we create. That's how the whole scripture starts. So he says that the first agreement is the most important one and also the most difficult one to honor. It is so important that just this one adjustment, breaking this one agreement, you will be able to transcend to the level of existence that he calls heaven on earth. Now, that's a really big statement. Let's take a look at it. So he advises us, be impeccable with your word. The word impeccable has a Latin root. And if you speak Spanish, you're familiar with that. The word is pecado, it's a sin. So he's telling us to ensure that our words are without sin. And how do we interpret sin in unity? From an original Greek terminology reference, which means missing the mark. It's an archery reference. So he says, simply put, because it is a gift from Spirit, we have the power to create. It is through the word that we manifest everything. The word is the most powerful tool we have. The caveat is this: it is a two-edged sword. It can heal or it can harm just as easily, both ways. Our words can create the most beautiful dream or life that we can possibly imagine, but it can also destroy everything around us. Our words are so powerful that one word can change a life or destroy the lives of millions of people. And here he cites the example of Hitler. Through his words. He didn't do anything. It was just through his words that got his people to do all these things. So the first agreement is be impeccable with your word, and it is summarized like this. Speak with integrity. Say only what you mean. Avoid using the word against yourself or to gossip about others. Use the power of your word in the direction of truth and love. Agreement number 2 is don't take anything personally. Now, what do you suppose is the underlying idea here? Our fragile little ego that thinks that everything is about us, right? Why? Because I'm the center of the universe. That's why. There is another underlying idea here, though, based on an anonymous quote that I have used in the past. And the quote is, we don't see the world as it is. We see the world as we are. So a slight change in that quote, and we get this. People don't see you as you are. They see you as they are. Now, this variation didn't come from Don Miguel. It came from Don Tomás. But the point is the same thing. Whenever you take someone's comments personally, and again, let's be real, we do it all the time. You do 2 things. First, you give them your power. And second, we accept their perspective as accurate. And when we understand that there is no way they can possibly know you, and you know that any more than you could know me, then it makes absolutely no sense to take anything they say personally. He says their opinion is not about you, it is about them. It is about their consciousness. Yet we take it personally all the time, and it causes us misery and further adds to the absurdity of taking things personally. It's a vicious little cycle. But we as humans, in our little ego, we do get caught up in this. And he says we need to break that agreement with ourselves because we're accepting their opinion of us. We are empowering them even though it is not accurate. So break that agreement. Stop taking things personally. I challenge you to catch yourself next time that you do. And just remind yourself, no, I'm not, whatever that person said is not about me. It is something that they're dealing with. So number 2 is summarized this way. Nothing others do is because of you. What others say and do is a projection of their own reality. When you are immune to the opinions and the actions of others, you won't be the victim of needless suffering. Now we can get a little background music, Mr. Dan, please. So let's end today's lesson by taking a few moments to remind ourselves of these truths. We begin, as we always do, by taking a few deep breaths and centering ourselves in spirit. We are so grateful to have this wonderful spiritual center as part of our lives. It feeds our soul, it feeds our spirit. We give thanks for the time spent here together in love and harmony as a loving spiritual community. We are reminded today of the power that we have to create our world through our words and our feelings that we choose. We strive every day, every week, to be mindful of this power. We make a conscious effort to not take things personally. We remind ourselves that every time we do, we give our power away, which can only bring us needless disharmony. Every action is a choice. And as we release these old agreements, we replace them and are filled with the peace and harmony that is our divine inheritance. So for this day and for this time together and for this wisdom that we take in today and make a conscious effort to use, we say, thank you, Spirit. And so it is. Now comes the time in our service. Let me get to my page where do we bring our children back or not yet? Oh, love offering. We do our love offering. So we take our offerings in our hands. And as we do, together we say, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I give in love, and I trust God.
Everything I see, everything I do is blessed by your hand, God. I give it back to you. Everything I give, every thought that's true is magnified and kind, God. I give it back to you.
Send forth your energy to the tithes and offerings. And together we say, we bless and dedicate these tithes and offering as an expression of divine love. And we release them to manifest that love in our community and in our world. So it is. Now we bring our children back. Are you going back there? Oh. I know, girls, because the smell is driving everybody nuts. Come on out here, young ladies. All right. So.
And if you know any other children who want to come, bring them along.
Yeah. So, what did we talk about today? Who wants to tell us? Olivia?
You can start with the give thanks.
We painted little, like stained up pumpkins that say give thanks on them, and we were talking about like who we might give them to, or we'll keep them to ourselves. And then,
And you're going to give them to your,
I'm gonna give mine to a teacher because I got, because she has the treble class, and she has the trouble.
And you're the biggest trouble.
No, it's this kid named Josiah.
Oh, no name names.
pray for him today.
So he, anyways, so I'm giving it to her, and because I think that she would really appreciate a thank you from somebody to know that she's appreciated for all the hard work she puts in to have patience with us.
Okay. And then you can talk about the second one if you want.
And then afterwards, we made little cards. There were cards with different words on them representing something. I chose balance, and then I came up with this little thing like good things happen if you have balance in your life.
Wonderful.
Like good things happen with balance in your life.
Very good.
And I stuck with that. So
All right.
it's Rebecca's turn.
You want to go next week? You are, you told me. You told me. You picked, who are you giving yours to?
I'm giving my pumpkin to my teacher.
You flat out. And then talk about your card.
For my card, I chose.
Show it, show it.
For my card, I chose serenity.
It's a big word. And on the back, what does that say?
On the back it says, "Be good to your earth," and at the end that says serenity,
Meaning,
take care of yourself.
and to be,
Very good.
and then Becky. And you picked,
We also talked about what we think agents are, or prayer of intention. We talked about what we think agents mean. Before I looked it up, I said it meant like a super spy, but like in a good way. We're spying and looking for peace and love and justice or whatever it was.
Well, thank you, girls. Let's take time to bless our children. let's take, ready to just bless them. We love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the Christ you are. Thank you. And thank you to Mimi and Claudia also as well. Yes. Let me remind you that Penny is our chaplain for the day. If anybody needs a prayer, then please speak with Penny. And thank you all so much for... Did you want to say something, Gwyneth? Oh, it is. It is, right? First Sunday of the month? Huh, we left that out. Who has a birthday in November?
Oh, wait a sec. Olivia.
Anybody else? Nobody? No November babies? We're all babies, right?
I am so sorry. That's my job.
I totally forgot.
I totally forgot. Yeah, you know what today is? It's the first Sunday of the month. Do you know what that is? It's birthday Sunday. Do you know anybody who has a birthday in November? Yeah. What's your birthday? Wednesday? Okay. So we gotta sing happy birthday. Anybody else have November birthdays?
No one. That's interesting. Okay.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Olivia. Happy birthday to you.
Once again, thank you, and let's rise and finish with our peace song.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am. Wherever we are, God is, I am, and all is well. Have a blessed week. Oh, stick around. We're doing some stuff afterwards. We're having a potluck and a concert, so don't go away.
Please feel free to join us for the potluck, even if you didn't bring anything, and stick around and enjoy Dan's lovely concert this afternoon. Thank you.